Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Clock Sports, man. We're back at it with another one, man. Today we're gonna talk about the Brooklyn Nets. You know, Brooklyn Nets had so much drama going on last season, and the drama didn't even died off. After they got swept, the drama continued. Um, Steph Curry won the championship, his fourth championship and final MVP, and right after that, KD asked for a trade, and then when he sit down with management again, he asked he asked the owner to fire Steve Nash and Sean Marks. So I never really break down the story. I never really got involved in that story. So I'm just gonna listen to what Steve Nash and Shannon had to say and Skip, and I'm just gonna give my perspective.
For GM Sean Marks and head coach Steve Nash to be fired. Yesterday, Nash spoke out about his relationship with KD. Take a listen.
I have a long history with Kevin, and I love the guy. Families have issues. We had a moment, and it's behind us. That's what happens. I mean, that's a common situation.
Issues. All right, Shannon. Will Nash and KD be able to coexist this season?
They have to, but it's going to be very, very difficult.
I would say they're gonna have to, but at the same time, don't act like if Steve Nash is not doing what he's supposed to do, meaning winning games to get this team where they're supposed to be. I believe management gonna have to step in and do something about Steve Nash, because Steve Nash so far just got a big blessing in the sky for a guy who have zero experience who coaching KD and Kyrie. That's and James Harden when James Harden was there. So it was a big blessing in the sky. But at the same time, he have not been living up to where this team should be going. For example, last year when KD got injured, before KD got injured, they were number one. And once KD got injured, missed about a month, they lost a lot of games. Some of the games they lost, they lose. They should have won. And yes, coaching play a part of that. Also, leadership play a part of that as well, because Brooklyn Nets don't have no leader, and that's the problem right now. It's not about talent. It's not about putting the ball in the basket, because KD can do that. Kyrie can do that. It's leadership. They don't have no leader. We don't know who's the leader of this team. And until they figure this out, I believe they're going to be a decent team, but they're not going to go where they're supposed to go. Also, just because KD asked for a trade, don't think KD's not going to ask for a trade again. You know what I'm saying? He did it once, he can do it again.
And I get what Steve Nash is saying, but it's hard when you know this player called for your job. Because when it came out that it happened, normally when things come out and Kevin Durant says, I didn't say that, he'll say, I didn't say that. At no point in time in the last 3 months since this thing has come to, had gotten out, Kevin Durant has never, ever denied that he called for Sean Marks and Steve Nash jobs.
How can he deny it?
Exactly.
He did.
Exactly. So Steve Nash said, well, that's not exactly. Oh, well, there might be some other things that wouldn't exactly, but exactly I feel very comfortable in saying this transpired. It's hard. Steve Nash doesn't have a choice, Skip, because he has to coach this team. He was bestowed a very, very, I don't know what, for lack of a better word, Skip, he was given a golden opportunity.
He was.
Because the guy that had no coaching experience was getting an opportunity.
That's exactly what I just said. I believe that was the worst hire in the NBA history, because I think they should have go after somebody who more heavy experience. I think they should have went after the coach for Golden State prior Steve Kerr got there. Mark Jackson. I think they should have go after him because it would have been, the storyline would have been way compelling. And we never did on the Nets playing Golden State because it will be KD going against his old team, and then it would have been Mark Jackson going against his old team, going against Steve Kerr, who Steve Kerr took his job. So it would have been a great storyline for the fans and for all the viewers, for the people who watch NBA all the time. But it's not it. Steve Nash, they end up getting Steve Nash. I was disappointed when they got Steve Nash because I didn't see it. So far, Steve Nash have not proved me wrong yet. And right now, I'm looking at the roster. The roster is really good with the players they have. It look good on paper. We all know. The Lakers looked good on the paper last year when they acquired Russ. They didn't go nowhere. So just because you look good on paper, that don't mean you win the championship. But also, what are you gonna do to get the job done? I believe Steve Nash is not the coach for this team, and I believe the team don't have no leader. So which is why, for me, in conclusion, they're not going nowhere. Hell, I don't even think they're top 5 best team in the league. Even though with the email situation going on in Boston, I still believe Boston gonna be finished higher than them, rank higher than them. I believe Bucks, Miami, even Cleveland, with the talent they have, I believe they can make a push for something. And they got a great young coach. I believe in their young coach more than I believe in Steve Nash.
The coach Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, a team that many thought,
James Harden.
and James Harden. Well, Harden wasn't there at the time, but he would later get James Harden. So he landed into an ideal situation. Do you know how many head coaches would love to coach their very first coaching job? Would get a historically great player.
Although in the bigger picture, you could say that could be a coach's worst nightmare. Those three. Okay.
You might be right, Skip. So for me, and Skip, you still got that issue with KD asking for the head coach and general manager's job. You still have Kyrie being Kyrie. And you have Ben Simmons. Now, Ben Simmons says, hey, my issues that I had in Philly, they're behind me now. I've gone to counseling. I've done all the things that I need. My back is healthy. So we're going to see how that plays out, Skip. But no, and another thing, it's not a foregone conclusion that Kevin Durant won't ask for a trade during the middle of the season or next year. So that's always...
That was what I'm saying. Like, Steve Nash got a lot of pressure on his back. He not only he probably gonna have pressure from management, but he also gonna have pressure from KD because let them get swept again. If they get beat first round or second round, it's a wrap. Because this team is too talented for not making the Eastern Conference by now. Like, this team is too talented for not being in the Eastern Conference. They should make the Eastern Conference by now.
Because that's always going to be hanging over Brooklyn Nets' head because he's done it before. But let me tell you something about Kevin Durant said. Kevin Durant said something very interesting back in 2018 when it came around LeBron James and the media attention that he commands create a toxic environment. He said so much hype comes from being around LeBron from other people, Durant said. He has so many fanboys in the media, even beat writers get all over him. I'm like, we're playing basketball out here. It's not even basketball at certain points. So I get why anyone would want to be in that environment because of toxicity. Remember, I used to say all the time, be careful because you will become the very thing you despise the most in a person. Kevin Durant created a toxic environment, toxicity.
Did he create it?
Yes, he did. He asked for the trade. He did that. Him and Kyrie came together as a package deal. Did you not think they shipped out Karis LeVert and Dinwiddie and Jared Allen because Kevin Durant didn't want James Harden or he wanted James Harden? Do you think Steve Nash is the head coach because Kevin Durant didn't or did want him? Considering we're family, we had a great relationship. Remember, we worked together in Golden State. So that environment that Kevin Durant did not want. He created one in Brooklyn. He created that. Own that. Own it.
He does.
No,
Does he backtrack?
No. He ain't all up there. You know, hey, everybody keep talking about family and family. Nah. My kids try to lead me to my Dad. We vacating your rights. You know, whoa, y'all better slow this thing down. After I done all this for y'all gonna talk about y'all ready to go this thing alone. Y'all better wait till y'all get 18 and get up out of here. Ain't nobody no 14, 15 vacating nobody's right.
So first of all, I appreciate you bringing up that 2018 quote,
Yes.
because that's my all-time favorite KD quote about LeBron. So many fanboys in the media. Go, KD, go.
Yeah, and
Bingo.
so many fanboys
Bingo.
have let Kevin Durant skate when he's done everything.
I don't think anybody lets
Oh,
him
yeah,
skip.
don't do that,
He
Skip.
bites the hand that fed him an MVP. He says you guys don't know SH about
And what do y'all
basketball.
do? And y'all still turn around, even though the man say y'all don't know poop about basketball, y'all still turn around and talk about he the best in basketball. He didn't tell y'all ain't know nothing.
Yeah, KD got a lot of crazy fans out here, man. They sick. Like, these people are sick. When I say sick, they are sick, bro. So KD does have a lot of fanboys as well.
Y'all don't know anything.
Okay, so here's what actually happened through the offseason. Kevin Durant said, get me out of here, because he was sick and tired of all the, as you say, bull jive from Kyrie Irving. He made a mistake. He followed the wrong guy to Brooklyn. He wants out. He's got to get out because the environment is no longer stable enough to produce a championship, says Kevin Durant.
He's part of that environment.
Okay, well, he's more follower than leader. He's never tried to own any kind of leadership.
I'm glad you said that, Skip. I'm glad you said that. That's why they're not winning. That's why they're not gonna win nothing. Because Kyrie is a terrible leader. He's a horrible leader, man. In the Boston Celtics, he was supposed to lead this team in the prominence. Their team accomplished way more once he got injured than when he was playing. So Kyrie's not a great leader. Kyrie's not a leader. KD's not a leader. Ben Simmons is not a leader. So where is the leadership coming at? And this is why I said, with all that talent they got, they're still not gonna go nowhere. You need a leader. And you need a great coach. The reason why Isaiah Thomas was able to win championships in Detroit, because he was the leader. He was leading the team, and then he had a great coach. The coach was coaching Isaiah, and Isaiah, whatever the coach told Isaiah take it to the team. We're not getting that from KD. We're not getting none of that. KD like, oh, I'm the best player. It's whatever, man. I don't want to be a leader. It's, I don't want to be a leader. How can you win? How you gonna win if you don't have no leader, no leadership, none whatsoever? So they're not going nowhere.
His plays at a higher level than LeBron plays, but that's a whole
wish.
other issue. No, he's the best player on the planet. He's not the best leader on the planet, and you can
That's
say
a
they're
part of it,
part and
right?
parcel.
Yeah.
You can say, but again, when it's time to ball, he just flat out balls with no drama. He just goes and plays.
Just imagine if LeBron and Steph Curry and Giannis could do, all they had to do was ball. Ain't have to worry about leadership. Ain't have to worry about getting the guys ready to make sure everybody's in the right frame of mind. Just imagine.
Just imagine.
If Magic and Bird and Jordan didn't have to worry about anything, just go hoop.
Yeah.
That would be a great feeling to be able to have.
LeBron James led the Lakers to 33-49 last year, and they missed the play-in tournament. The Lakers led.
What about that championship?
I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say LeBron. Say whatever you want to say about LeBron, he still led them to a. Even though I feel like AD played a huge part on that, but LeBron still led them to a title. Now you can say whatever you want to say. You can say bubblicious. You can say it's a bubble title. You can call it a pandemic title. You can call it whatever name you want to call it. But at the end of the day, that man still led the team the Lakers to a finals and win. KD have not done a goddamn thing. Kyrie, I must say this. Kyrie has not been living on that shot since 2016. That man has been living on that 2016 final shots for a long time now. Long time now. From the 2016 shots, Kyrie been bankrolled on that shot for a long time now. It's time for people to wake up and say, literally, and drive deep, get deep in the water and say to yourself, what have Kyrie done since that shot? Absolutely nothing.
Interesting.
Has Kevin Durant got a championship?
Bubble issues.
Okay. Does
He
Kevin
kept them together.
Does Kevin
in the bubble.
hold on.
Nobody else wanted to stay in the bubble except LeBron said, I smell
Think about what
an
you just said.
opportunity to steal a ring.
Think about what you just said. A leader kept them together in the bubble. Had Kevin Durant been in that situation, what would have happened?
Nothing. It would have been a disaster. I agree with that. If KD had to lead in the bubble to keep them together, they wouldn't have been together. They would have been separated because KD is a follower. He ain't no leader. So you need to be a leader to win, though. You know, when you look at all the great championships over the years, Shaq and Kobe share some. Team Duncan, Team Duncan, Tony Parker, Kawhi Leonard. You need to be a leader to win championship. You can't be just Giannis, Steph. You need to be a leader to win the championship. LeBron, you got to be a leader. You cannot be, oh, I'm the best player, or I just want to hoop, or I don't want to be the whatever with management and that player. No, you have to be a leader by any means necessary. Because if you're not a leader, people are not going to follow you. I mean, that thing only worked in Brooklyn because KD a great scorer. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a good scorer. Because that man have not scored 60 points yet. So I wouldn't say he's a great scorer. He's a good scorer. But at the same time, score is fine. Putting the ball in the basket basketball is more than put the ball in the basket. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Come on, Skip.
So Kevin Durant was backed into a corner by Josiah, who just said, Kevin, for years, you owe me 4 more years. I'm not going to let you out. I'm not going to give you away.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
So Kevin gets more and more desperate, and he says, I got to go with ultimatum. I got to say publicly, either you fire Steve Nash and Sean Marks, or let me go.
Yeah.
Because he thought maybe that would be enough. That would just blow it up completely, where Josiah would have no choice but to get him out from under Kyrie.
He said, what if I keep all 3 of you?
Well,
Josiah said, I keep all 3 of you.
and he did that. And he had the right to do that. He had the power to do that. And he exercised said power. And I think every owner in the league stood up quietly and applauded him for saying, I'm going to hold you to the 4 years on your contract. And I told you, I don't love that about Kevin Durant, because unfortunately, you signed the dotted line and you got 4 more years that you owe that man upstairs.
But Skip,
right?
Skip, I've heard you for 6 years that we've been on this show. You put leadership very, very high on your list when it comes to people being able to execute and play from Jordan and Kobe.
But I have seen Kevin lead by example. I have seen him take over an Olympic team against competition that Shannon Sharp told me was way better than ever. That it was a threat to our dominance internationally. Isn't that what you told me? Way better. I saw him night after night say, I got this. We're in trouble. I got this. Watch what I...
Nah, that's not leadership. This is not leadership, man. Come on, Skip. That's not leadership. Him say, I got this in the Olympic, when he had like Damian Lillard. He had the top 20, all the top 10s and top 20s player on that roster. Come on, man. That's not leadership. Leadership is not go out there and get buckets. Leadership is when things going wrong. You driving out the guys together. Leadership is like you the first in, you the last leaving. People watching you leading. while you sit down on the bench, telling the young guys, hey, this is what you got to do. This is this play and that play, get open. Telling players, set them up. That's leadership. I got this. That's not leadership. It's more like ISO ball, because that's what he good at. He good at ISO ball. That's why when you play ISO, you don't win. When you play ISO, you don't win.
God, watch us against
Well, then
Australia.
why did he do that against Boston Celtics?
Okay.
Why did he say, I got this, I got this, watch
the
me
team
take over?
had crumbled.
Oh, that is team come.
Well, you know it had. Everybody, he told, who was it, Mike James, he said before, we're done. We shouldn't even go out there.
Can he get it done or can he not?
Okay, so now let's go back to Steve Nash. I feel sorry for Steve Nash because right out of the box, Kyrie says, we don't even need a coach.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. When Kyrie said that was on KD podcast, by the way, when he said that. When Kyrie said that, a leader should have checked him. I would have checked him. I'd be like, what the fuck you mean we don't need a leader? I mean, a coach. We do need a coach. This is not, we're not at the Wacker play basketball. We're not at no parks play basketball. This is professional basketball. We do need a coach. We do need a coach. I don't give a damn what you said. We need a coach. And we're going to get a good one. When he came out and said that, KD let it slide. Anything this man do, KD always let things slide. He let things slide, he let things slide, he let things slide. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? You should right there say, man, Kyrie, you wildin'. You wildin' right now. I don't know what you've been sipping on, but we do need a coach. There is no team in the NBA win a championship without a coach. So KD sit there and kiki keying, don't say nothing, and now things is blowing up on his face. Now he won out. Nah. No, you got to stay there.
Right there. That's when I really started feeling sorry for a guy, and our younger generation viewers out there probably don't remember this. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs
Back-to-back.
in his league. Back-to-back MVPs, and the second one was debatable because I thought Shaq should have won
I
it.
did too.
But whatever. Steve Nash did that.
He did it.
At about, they list him at 6'3", I don't know.
Whatever.
6'2"-ish.
One-ish.
But, okay, 6'1"-ish. But he did that.
He did.
Back-to-back, it's hard. It's hard to
Yes.
win one, let alone back-to-back.
Yes.
He was that good. And speaking of leadership, everybody that I knew around the league would rave about quietly how Steve Nash led the Phoenix Suns. They went to dinners together. He
Yes.
organized.
Yeah, he was a leader. He was. I'm not knocking on Steve Nash's career, but this is not about his career. This is about coaching and you moving the goalposts right now, Skip, because that's not. Nobody said Steve Nash was not a great player. And that's why he's in top 75. I think it was prematurely put him in top 75. You know, they put, there was a lot of people in top 75, I believe. I don't believe they should have been there. Like Melo, for example. I love Melo, but I don't believe he had a better career than Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard won 3 Defensive Player of the Year, took the Orlando Magic to the Eastern Conference multiple times, and took Orlando Magic to the finals. The only reason why they lost because they faced Kobe. So, the Dwight Howard in Orlando, man, he was something to match with. So he was a problem. So for a long time, people didn't know what to do with Dwight Howard. So for me, I'm not. A lot of players are put on top 75. I don't think they should have been there. So. Did he deserve to be there? Yeah. The problem is they will keep facing San Antonio a lot, and then Popovich got Mike D'Antoni numbers. So simple as that.
Them. He was a leader. They did never win at the highest level, but they were pretty great.
When it came close until
They did.
Robert Ory
Oh,
shut,
I know.
then Amari came off the bench, and that was it.
That was it against my center.
Yeah, I believe that year they would have won if Horry didn't did that. Yeah, I believe that year because they had San Antonio number that year, but once Stoudemire got suspended, it was open gate for Team Duncan to go to dominate, and Team Duncan, take advantage of the situation. That's what you do. You advantage creating. You take advantage. You take you capitalize on your opportunity. I'm not blaming Tim Duncan at all.
Antonio Spurs, that was as close as they ever got. But the point is, I respect what this man did.
Right.
It doesn't matter one ounce once he becomes a head coach in this league, because as the years pass, less and less do the players in that locker room have respect for the fact that once upon a time, many moons ago, he won back-to-back MVPs. But he deserves more respect than these guys are giving him.
Right.
So for me personally, if I were in Steve Nash's shoes, I don't think I could ever quite get over this one. Well, he's saying all the right.
I wouldn't go by and say he deserved. You don't deserve a damn thing. You gotta earn the respect. So far, I don't think Kyrie respect him. I don't think a lot of players in the locker room respect Steve Nash. And I don't think James Harden respected him when he was there. And it's just nobody really looking at him like, oh my, with such respect. You gotta earn respect by winning games, winning playoff series, possibly get there to the finals. If you got beat, oh well. That's how you earn respect. Like, say whatever you say about Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka earned every single everybody in the Celtics locker room respect. All the other coach, the owner, everybody, because this is the same team the other coach prior had. He couldn't get that. He couldn't take them to nowhere. He just came 1 year and let them buy in on defense and take them all the way to the finals. So respect, you gotta earn it. It's not given. You gotta earn it. I'm sorry.
But this was huge for him to admit. We saw the little quote. He didn't say it with much force. He didn't say it with his chest, but he said, you heard it right there. It was a little garbled, but we had a moment and it's behind us. But he admitted we had a moment, meaning we had to hash this out.
Yeah, it's different. LeBron James saying, okay, I don't want to play for David Blatt anymore. There's no prior history between LeBron James and David Blatt.
And David Blatt was gone. I mean, LeBron got him gone, and that's fine with me because I never saw anything from David Blatt where I said, oh, he's the answer from Cleveland, right?
Kevin Durant and Steve Nash had a history prior to them ever linking up in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Golden State, right.
And Kevin does know and appreciate basketball history, and he knows full well what Steve Nash did on the basketball.
But here's the thing, what a leader would have done. When Kyrie says we don't need a coach, a leader would have said, hey, Steve Nash was a great mind.
That's exactly what I just said. He would have shut him down. When dude said that, when Kyrie came out on your podcast and said that, KD, we don't need a coach. You should have said, what the fuck is you talking about? We don't need a coach. We do need a coach. We do need a coach.
I got
great basketball player.
I mean, between you and me, I don't think Kenny Atkinson should have ever been fired. I think that was the worst mistake they made, fire Kenny Atkinson. And then another mistake they made again, trade the whole team to get James Harden. You trade your best defender, all your young talent for James Harden. I think that was, and on top of that, 2 years later, a year after that, he left the team. So those are the mistakes they made. So hey, you live, you learn, but some mistake that you made, you can't go back and rehash what you just did. So, like I said, KD should have checked him right in and there and say, hey man, we need a coach. We do need a coach.
And we can all learn a lot, but that's not what he did. He allowed this thing to get out there and it festered. And so now you undercut the man that's your head coach. And so everybody's like, well, Kyrie said we don't need no head coach. Kyrie, what you think we should do? KD, what you think we should do? That's what leaders do. Even when your boy says something that's out of pocket, a leader, hey, that was wrong. You shouldn't have said that.
Right.
And now you come out and says, okay, yeah, we do need a coach.
Okay, I got it. But after Kevin issued his ultimatum, if I were Steve Nash, and this is very easy for me to say sitting right here in this chair,
Right.
I would have quit.
No, I ain't quit.
I would have just
I
said,
ain't
no,
even
I'm
running me off.
out.
He ain't running me off.
Okay, but I still believe Steve Nash is respected enough that he could get another job in this league. And maybe that's what he needs, is to start fresh somewhere else with a team that's more coachable than this team.
But here's the thing, Skip. How you gonna get another job? They say, well, hell, you couldn't win with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden.
I was just about to say the same thing. I was just about to say the same thing because people gonna, if I'm on the team, I'll be like this. You had James Harden, you had Kyrie, you had KD, you couldn't get the job done. You can get to the Eastern Conference. Now you mean to tell me with a team like Sacramento Kings or OKC, you mean to tell me you're gonna make us better? How you gonna make us better when you can get those guys to the finish line?
And it depends if they know what the real score was behind the scenes.
Yeah, we know
how
the real
hard it
score.
was.